everyone. Welcome back to the Food Moose Podcast. This is Heather coming at ya.
And Patty, also coming at ya.
My sidekick. So today is Monday, November 5th in the land of podcast land. So tomorrow is a big day for many of us. Tomorrow is Election Day. Tomorrow is also, even more importantly, my big girl's 18th birthday. And she's super excited to vote. It's really funny.
It reminds me about Farmer Ted from 16 Candles. Or no, sorry. It was Breakfast Club. Same guy, though. Same actor.
I remember that part.
Fake ID, so I can vote.
Well, she's so funny because I said, I'm going to do early voting because the polls are just going to be a nightmare. It's going to be so busy.
But it's her first time.
No, so what she said. She goes, this is a very important day for me, Mom. We have to go. And I would like you to go with me so we can experience it together.
Aw, that's sweet.
All right. Yay, let's vote. Could we then go buy a lottery ticket? I mean, let's do all the 18 things.
Hey,
Yeah. A winning one, not one of those crappy loser ones.
Yeah.
So Maggie's 18 and
How
it's
you
amazing.
doing with that?
You know, it's a little bit hard because she's all grown up. I mean,
But yet,
she's not. She's still a baby. Like, I get all that. But she's truly an adult in the eyes of the world. Like, I have to fill out a medical power of attorney because she's 18. And so if something happens and she were to be at a hospital or something, I can't find out what's going on. I have to have this power of attorney.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, she'll sign it and that's not a worry or anything. But, you know,
It's just the things you got to think about that she's
yeah.
an adult in the eyes of the law.
Yes. So Mama's got to get her big girl pants on too. Uh-huh. So it's very exciting. It's, you know, she's thrilled. She's so happy. She's ready to, you know, she's loving being a senior. She's ready to move on to, you know, her next chapter. I'm not ready, but she is. So, okay, fine. I'll get there.
You will.
I know. I'm just trying to keep it real. You know, I want her to be an adult, not a real adult. Well, yeah. You know what I mean.
Are any of us a real adult?
Oh, that is actually a valid point. We're all pretending.
We are all pretending. We've all had all of our moments.
So therefore she's in really good company.
She fits in nicely.
Exactly. So we had some birthdays, festivities this weekend.
Fun.
Little shout out to Maggie's friend Danny, who is a huge Food Moose listener.
Well, hi, Danny.
I know. She's rolling through all the old episodes and then she texts me and calls me. She goes, oh my gosh, that part was so funny.
We have a fan.
I know. Well, the best part, she doesn't know who is who. Like, because she's like, wait, you'll say something or Patty will say something and I forget who it is. And then she said, Heather, you'll say something, but I think it's really Maggie saying it. I'm like, where do you think Maggie learned it?
My former boss and dear friend Phil says the same thing. He's like, I can never tell who's talking. So
I love that.
That was me, Phil.
Hey, Phil, it's Heather here. Yeah. So no, Danny went to the Christmas store and she got a little bit crazy and she brought me a moose ornament. She goes, I saw this and I thought this is for Food Moose.
Oh, so sweet.
She's really cute. So yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about my thoughts on my child growing up.
Okay.
And the next steps and how to keep your sanity a little. I'm still figuring it out. So I'll let you know when I get it all figured out.
Well, and you don't have to get it all figured out. You only need to deal with the closest alligator to the boat, figure that.
Oh, that's funny.
The first thing out, and then you'll figure out the next thing and the next thing, and future
Baby
Heather
steps.
Can help you.
Baby steps. Take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about the college stuff because that's a huge part of growing up life. Whether you're going to take a gap year, you're going to go to community college, you're going to take time off, you're going to work, whatever that is, it's a huge step when high school ends because high school, school has been your life and now you get to choose what do you want to do. High school, you didn't get to choose. You maybe, which math class do you want to take? Oh, that's super exciting. But yeah, I think it's really cool that kids can pick what they want to do. I mean, obviously parents are overshadowing all these decisions.
At least
for good or bad. for good or bad, because they want to make sure that the kids know how to make a good decision. And I think that's a really hard thing, is passing the reins from from the parent being the sole provider of information to the child saying, no, this is what I really want to do. And then, the discussion, well, why is that a good choice? Where's that going to go in the future? 99 other things. So I think all of this that we're going to talk about here is really just overshadowed by the fact that I need to know in my heart that Maggie is making good decisions, solid decisions, and she's a good kid. So,
well, and that's really what it boils down to is, did you raise a kid? Do you feel comfortable that you raised a kid who can make smart decisions? Now, she's going to screw up, because we all do. But that's how you learn. I mean,
yes,
you think you know everything at that stage. And
she does. She knows all the things.
Right. But, I think that now, though, too. And I've probably thought that at every stage of my life. And I know I don't, but
see, that's funny, because I know I don't know all the things. Like, I'm like, I don't know anything. I don't know how I've gotten this far.
But she is a good kid. You did a great job with both of your girls, and she's going to make some good decisions. She's going to bone up a couple times, and that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as they're little bone ups and that they don't,
Right. And we've had a lot of learning experiences so far. And really, my whole point is I just need to know you're safe. That's it. So, your choices can all be changed throughout history as long as you do safe, smart things. So we're working on that. Okay. So college. Hey, college. So for our experience, it's been different than a lot of our friends because Maggie plays travel softball. When you play a travel sport, you have to make the decision first. Do you want to play in college? If you do, well, then going about finding your college is a whole different thing, because you need to find your college and your team in college at the same college.
Oh.
Yeah. So, a lot of our friends are just, get your scores, get your test grades, get all that stuff done, and then send them into 15 schools and see where you go. Whereas we needed to troll the coaches in the schools years earlier, like 2 years earlier, so that Maggie could find a coach she gels with, a team she likes, a school she loves, with a program she wants to study.
And still have all the SATs and the grades and all that other stuff.
And you still have to get into the school you want.
Right.
It's not necessarily harder. It just encompasses more angles. So you really just have to think about it. As you're going through it, you really have to have a plan. A lot of the stuff we did wing, and thankfully it turned out okay. But looking back, I'm like, oh, we could have probably done that part a little bit more thoroughly. But, you learn from doing. So after years of work, emails to a myriad of coaches, avoiding frustration, but not really. We had a ton of frustration. Keeping the sports profile up to date with all of her current statistics, attending dozens of softball camps at colleges, and then also visiting the college. What might be a good fit? Does she like the campus? Does she like the coach? Does she like the other kids there? So we are very excited to have this part in the back window. Yeah. So Maggie got an offer from her coach at her number one school choice. So,
Yay.
Right. So that came first. She had the offer from the coach first. Then she applied to the school, and she was accepted within, I think, 48 hours of her transcripts arriving at the school. Because they do rolling admission.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Some of the big schools in the Ivy League schools, they do like an early decision admission time and then regular, whatever that looks like.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of the state schools will do a rolling admission, so you know what you're getting yourself into. And then they know how many spots they have open, give to the next kids.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be less administrative burden on them as well to do a rolling, I guess. I don't know.
For thinking of it from the school's point of view, you don't know all your student pool at the beginning, because if only some kids apply at the beginning, and then some apply like a month later, and then some apply a month later, you don't know all of the pool to pick the kids you really want.
Gotcha.
But the state schools, I'm speaking of Wisconsin State, not Illinois State, because Illinois does it differently. They act more like they're private universities than public universities. But in Wisconsin, the state schools have their threshold. So if you have this GPA and this test score, you're kind of guaranteed, which is nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
Because there's not a lot of question marks. And so, so University of Wisconsin Stout in Menominee is where Miss Margarita will be going.
Oh, and what is their mascot?
The Blue Devil.
Oh, that's fun. Like Duke.
It's funny because I tend to like stop myself in my head and go, Duke, no, Stout.
We'll have to learn that.
Yes, we will. And it's hard for us because there was a period of 5-6 years where the family lived in
North Carolina.
So that was hot on the mind. Yes. So don't worry. We'll be there. So just backtracking a smidge, summer between junior and senior year is always a big push for the high school kids, picking, going to schools, looking at locations, making sure that they like what they see, that they've learned about the school, all that kind of stuff. With sports, it's really important to narrow down your division. So do you want to be a Division I school, like all the schools you see playing football on TV on Saturday? Not all of them, but a lot of them. Or a Division II, which is pretty much right up there with Division I. I mean, it's a huge time commitment. If you commit to a school like that to be on their sports team in their program, you are giving up probably 50% or more of your college career to the sport.
What does that mean?
Well, what that means is, yes, you're going to walk out of there with a degree if you work really hard, but school isn't your focus. The sports team is more your focus.
Oh, I gotcha.
So even throughout the year when that team's not playing, you're going to be practicing with those kids and working with the coaches, and you may have tutors for your team, when your team is playing, whatever that looks like. Each school does it differently, but basically that is a great fit for kids who are freaking amazing or kids that want to take that sport professionally after school. If you want to just play in school and have a great time and you really love your sport, but you also know that you'd like to get a real job someday and you need an education, a Division III school might be a really good choice.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's generally a little bit smaller school as well. The Division I schools are, the huge universities with 30 to 50,000 kids, whereas a D3 school might be 8 to 12,000 kids.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a different feel. So visit the campus, go to a class, talk to the kids there, talk to the coaches, because there's a million choices and it's hard.
I can't imagine.
Once you narrow down what you like and what you don't like, everything gets easier. But
that's true.
When you're walking in going, oh, you sure? I want to play softball for a college. Okay. Great.
Gonna need a little more info.
Yeah. So we are all done with that part, thankfully. So now, so the second part was filling out the FAFSA. I don't know what the letters stand for. It's the financial aid something from the government. So basically what that means is you as a parent and you as a student each fill out this application online, and it asks all your financial questions. But it can also pull from the IRS website. So it'll pull in your last year's tax returns, and you plug in, how much money you have in savings and how much you have in loans and all that stuff. So it gives you a good overview to the schools you're applying to of what financial situation you're in. So then those schools know how much the school costs, obviously, and then they'll come up with a package saying, we think that you can get this many scholarships, and we think that you could get this much in financial aid via a loan. We think you might be able to get a grant for something, whatever that looks like. And then the school really helps you along getting your financing together so that you can pay for this school endeavor. And it's interesting because we went to a class, I don't know, we had a speaker come into the high school who talked about FAFSA, and he is in the financial aid office at a local private college. And it was actually one of the schools Maggie was interested in, but I thought she needed to go further away from home than 2 miles away. Yeah, he was, and when I looked at that school, I said, it's $68,000 a year for tuition.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So I said, this is kind of crazy because other schools we're looking at are dramatically less.
Mm.
And he said, it's just like when you buy a car, it's the
Mhm.
sticker price. He goes, you may not pay the sticker price. You're probably going to get yourself, a deal of some sort. So he said at their school, I think 95% of the students do not pay the sticker price.
Oh, wow.
But then I'm like, well, why are you advertising the sticker price? Is that just to prove that your education is worth that amount? I don't know
Oh, that's a
why.
good
I mean,
question.
if you're saying that your education costs $65,000, but kids can get it for $30,000 a year, please advertise at 30.
Mhm.
Because we were turned off by that. We really were. I mean, I have
Yeah.
a friend whose son goes to a school that costs $80,000 a year. She's not paying 80, but she's paying 50. So I'm
Wow.
like, right.
Huh.
So, or your kid's like, I went to Harvard, I went to Yale, yay
Yeah.
me, or whatever it is. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't even know how much those schools cost.
I'm going to say maybe more than 80 grand, but
Well,
I don't know.
I didn't get in. I
Yeah.
tried. No, I
I didn't even try.
But college is crazy expensive at the beginning, at the onset, and that's before you even get into getting there. Just looking at the sticker price is a bit shocking. So pick a school that you can live with, but know that it's probably not going to be at that price level, and that's a good thing. So
Yeah.
scholarships, baby.
Mhm.
A couple more things here, just kind of moving on a little bit from college. Things I had to feel comfortable with before I could send my wee one off into the world. I need to know that she could live on her own safely and still be alive, a couple days later. So, does she know how to cook? Can she feed herself? Does she know how to do her own laundry?
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah. Can she handle money? What about, having a job, and how do you approach budgets and finances, and how does she split her time
Yeah.
between having an education and a job?
And a
So,
sport, which is a job. I mean,
yeah. Oh, for sure.
yeah.
So this year has actually been really interesting because she's got a job babysitting after school every day from 3 to 7, and so she's kind of doing the mom thing. It's cute. She has to go pick up the kid at daycare, and then she comes home and helps the other kids with their homework, and she makes sure that they have dinner. So I'm like, hey, now you know what I did for so many years.
Yeah.
So it's really good. It's given her a lot of maturity that I don't know how else a kid learns that stuff other than by just doing it, jumping right in. So Maggie's been lucky. She's had a few jobs in service industry. She worked at a restaurant, so she knows how to approach people out in the world, which I think is really important. There's so many kids who have a phone stuck in their face all the time. They don't know how to be social out in the world. And that's a skill that I don't know you can teach someone. They have to just do it. And how else are they going to go apply for a job or, sell themselves to a college if they can't have an intelligent conversation? So I think that's really important. Another important thing is handling money. Maggie's taken a personal finance class in school this year, which I think is really cool, filling in a lot of the holes of, how does the stock market work and why do you want to have a good credit score and things like that.
Oh,
But
that's great. That would have been huge to have. We didn't have that in high school.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't think I even had it in college.
But one of the other parts too, I don't know if they've addressed this yet or they will, but there's online banking, there's phone apps, there's debit cards, there's Venmo. I mean, kids don't actually touch cash.
Yeah.
They don't know how to work with green money.
Well, and you lose a lot of the appreciation for what the value is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's all pretend. I mean, they get a check directly deposited and then they spend money on the debit card. So they never actually see and touch the money, which I think loses a lot of the allure and the appreciation because, they're like, oh, well, you could just transfer the money in my account and it's no big deal. I'm like, yeah, but I got to work hard for that money. That money just didn't magically appear at the Monopoly game.
You'll get more.
Well, yes, I will, but
after you work hard for another 2 weeks.
Exactly. So I want my kids to understand how money works and to appreciate the value, how to use it wisely. So we've been working with that a lot for years even. I mean, I remember way back in the day, Dad sat down with me, and there's a picture of us sitting at the kitchen counter, and he went through my bank statement, how to read it, went through the checkbook, how to fill out the check register. And I mean, this was completely new to me. And, how to reconcile it at the end of the month. If you spent $10 here, you have to subtract 10 from your 100, and then you only have 90 left. But if you put in an extra 20, then you have 110, so
Yeah.
basically just going through all those steps, which I've tried to do, but Maggie doesn't want to hear that kind of stuff because we don't use a checkbook.
Yeah.
And
It's
she doesn't
hard.
sit down and write out a check to someone. It's just, I'll just
Check my online balance.
Yeah, I'll just PayPal it to you. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Ma, take $10 out. I bought that on, whatever. So I don't know. We're still managing and navigating through that.
It is nice, I'll say now, without a checkbook, that things clear faster. So you have a better picture of your finances. I mean, I can remember before it's, if you forgot to write something down about a check that you wrote or, a debit that you pulled out or something, and it took forever for you, maybe the end of the month when you got your bank statement to actually and you still didn't have a great picture because
and then you forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, wait, what was check 1211? I don't remember what that was.
Yeah. So at least that part is easier for them now, as they, at almost any moment, they know exactly what's going on.
Right. Because even the pending stuff
shows up. Right.
Yeah. I think it's nice too. But again,
you're right.
You're not touching cash.
Right. So. It's all just kind of ethereal.
So we're trucking through it, and we're getting there, and she's super excited to be 18 and a voter, and I'm excited to have her be so happy about it.
It's good that she's excited.
Yeah. So seriously, people, go vote. Everyone has to vote.
Rock the vote.
Oh yeah. All that. So PJ, do you have any ditch and switch ideas here?
Well, I think you kind of talked a little bit about it. I think the big ditch is babying your kids. Let them be independent, responsible people. I mean, it takes a lot to make them adults, but when you're making decisions for them, you're making their lunches, you're doing their laundry, I know you think you're helping them, and maybe, once in a while you do because they've got a busy week, but they need to learn those skills so that when they leave your house, and they are going to leave your house one day.
Oh my gosh, that's the goal, people.
Yeah,
they have to leave your house someday.
You can't be Beverly from the Goldbergs and, want to keep them forever and do all the things, and then they don't know how to do anything when they leave the house. So I think
that's not fair to them. You're putting them at a disadvantage.
Yeah, you really are. So they need to have struggles so that they can learn, and they need to have challenges. And it's great that you don't want them to get hurt, but sometimes, when you skin your knee, not to ride that fast on your bike. So
down the hill with the manhole cover at the bottom.
Yeah. So I think that's a big goal for parents, and not being one, but seeing kids out in the world, not knowing how to be adult is so frustrating.
Well, it's funny because, you heard about the tiger mom and the helicopter mom. There's a new one called the lawnmower mom.
What's that one?
I guess it could be a parent. It doesn't have to be a mom. The lawnmower parent is one that mows all the problems out of the way so the child can just gracefully walk through their life with no issues at all. How is that realistic?
Yeah, no, they're going to be in a world of hurt later.
Yeah. So please go be just a real mom or dad. Or
dad.
Or random, whatever.
Just or grandparent or foster parent or whatever you are.
Just lover of people that you love. But be real, dude.
Be real about it.
Yes.
Oh, all right, Heather. Thanks. That was awesome. All right. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter at foodmoose.com. Heather wrote a blog about this last week, so you can read up on all the stuff that she's talking about in this podcast. And that's over at foodmoose.com as well. Find us at Food Moose on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to write us a review wherever you found this, because we know you've subscribed by now because you love it.
Just write us an email because we're cool.
That too. You can do that at foodmoose@gmail.com. And I think that's it. From both of us, go forth, be real. Moose out.
Moose out.